Well, it's that time of the year again. The day where everyone quits YouTube, and I'm obligated to upload a video about—
Now it's my turn to come back. Today I'm going to be talking shit about the game that made me in the first place. Alright, let's start this list off strong. Number 1, the King Slime has unspoken riz. Look, before you say anything, I completely understand why I myself have yet to find a significant other, but for fuck's sake, if you were telling me that this giant blue ball sack is able to secure the bag with a baddie, and I've yet to enter the talking stage, then so help me God if I don't turn gay by my late 20s. To be fair, it took this guy nearly 9 years to find someone who will most likely cheat on him, so on the bright side he'll be put back in his place, making sure he's not thinking he's him. But then again, I'm not one to talk since I've made piss all when it comes to progress these last 10 years. Number 2, the Necromancer. What's funny is that I used to love this guy just so I could get his staff way back in the 1.2 days, but now he's just my 13th reason why. If you get hit by his beam of grape juice, you'll be slower than my school's varsity track team, and before you know it, you got a paladin on your ass throwing hammers at you thinking he's the Thor. Number 3, the Corruption Pit. Do I even need to explain myself here? This giant gaping hole is responsible for 80% of my early game deaths, and I just get shoved into this pit by corruption enemies equivalent to my high school bullies. And rarely by the grace of God I'll fall into a 3-inch pit of water only to get my ass handed to me by the so-called soul eaters. Number 4, the 3 worms of failure. Just like the Eater of Souls, these 3 stooges somehow take the cake but eat it as well. If your guessing skills are good enough to get you a D- on your senior year finals, then you already know I am of course talking about the Eater of Worlds, Devourer, and World Feeder. They're just worms, nothing much to say about them, just worms that sit through the land and just kill you whenever they please. Number 5, the Angler. I'm sure if you're any ordinary person who plays this game on even a yearly basis, you probably saw this coming from a mile away. This guy alone can cause even the happiest person on earth to go through the 7 stages of grief. He's an actual hindrance towards my gameplay, but ever since the fly meal, my life has been 10 times easier. I quite literally used to pray for times like this. Times where I can safely kill this angler without destroying half my NPC houses. Number 6, the Goblin Tinker. If you ever wanted to gamble underage or you don't have the friends to hit the casinos with, then you would not fucking believe what the next best thing is. I'm pretty sure I've done thousands of platinum on this motherfucker just to get even a decent reforge on the accessories I have. And I don't mean decent ones like angry, armored, or guarding, where those are the second best for overall items. When I say decent, I mean the first extra 4% I can get. Like if I get quick, which is an extra like 4% movement speed, I'm settling for that. Not because it's good, but because I will have to sign up for welfare if I even attempt to get something better. Number 7, bats. Specifically jungle bats. I'm gonna keep this one pretty quick, but you guys just ever wander in the jungle and God knows why you're just some reason on the ledge placing either platforms or ropes when all of a sudden this devious douche decides to pull up and knock you into the dark empty void in the middle of the jungle with only 1% of the time I'm lucky enough to fall into water only to die to a man-eater not even 10 seconds later. Speaking of which, number 8, man-eaters and angry trappers. As mentioned before, you ever just straight up doing your own thing, having a surprisingly decent day when all of a sudden these wall hacking hoes just come out of nowhere and harass you till the end of time? I don't think there's been one playthrough where a man-eater has royally fucked me over without mercy, but that's okay because that's what gives the game its challenge in the first place. What doesn't give this game a decent challenge is what I'm about to say right now. Number 9, boulders. For some reason, randomly in the mines, you will be greeted by a friendly stone ball that will kindly end not only you but your unfortunate friend, if you have any, who just so happens to stand right behind you, and then 2 seconds later, the both of you just get smashed by potentially a family full of boulders. Yes, this has happened to me more times than I'd like to admit, but my bad I only have around 800 hours in this game, so skill issue I suppose? Sure, I'll let you guys decide on that one. Number 10, the Corrupted Mimic. It's not the hollowed mimic, and it exists, so I automatically hate it. Moving on. Number 11, the Tax Collector. If you live in America, I don't think I even need to explain why this guy's existence is a national tragedy, but unlike the actual government, he gives us money instead, so I'll give him the pass for now. Number 12, the Eater of Souls. Doesn't even do what its name suggests. There have been times where I was more than willing to let this guy eat my soul both in-game and real life, but has yet to prove himself. I find myself getting jabbed by his manscaped razor looking mustache rather than him eating my soul and devouring my existence entirely. Overall, probably the biggest disappointment in the corruption biome. Number Number 13, Golem. If my guy gets 7 different buffs across the span of a year and still gets bodied in the streets, I start to question this guy's relevance in the hood or him as a person in general. To play devil's advocate, he's still one of the core bosses to defeat in order to progress the game, so I guess he'd be proud of what little role he has in the game. Number 14, the Ruler. I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I play video games to forget about math, to forget about the tools that have helped me get a D- in my junior year math class, yet for some reason they allow Stake.com looking ass to sell it for a bargain of 10 silver. I mean, I guess if I was that down bad for a ruler, I can see this being useful, but I seriously have PTSD from every math final I've taken, so seriously, just let me be free from the shackles that is education as a whole. Number 15, the removal of the holy hand grenades. This is more of a personal complaint, but I just remember griefing my friends with these back in the console version of Terraria, back when that was hard stuck in 1.2. This was not only the best bombs in the game in that version, but it also spread the word of the Lord through destroying our now, well, my now former friends' hard work and creations, which I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys, it was probably mid at best. Number 16, random events spawning at the worst possible times. Sometimes I'm just doing my own thing, and on day 2 or 3 my world, out of nowhere for some reason a blood moon will occur and I just get swarmed with enemies around my tiny box looking home, containing nothing more but me and the guide. It's honestly confusing as to why these devious fucks would even try to rob me when I barely even have a couple gold saved up. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not even out here hiding a Rolex or a certain Romanian man's Bugatti in my fucking FedEx box looking house, so these guys are doing it for little to no gain. Number 17, dart traps. Remember how I mentioned that when you get knocked into a pool of water by a jungle bat in the jungle and usually you'll die to a man-eater? Yeah, I kinda lied because I completely forgot that majority of the time I end up dying to a dart trap instead, and not because of the dart trap, but because it pisses its poison debuff on me thinking I'm a public school bathroom urinal, which kills my character faster than the plague. However, I have been saved by this multiple times by forcing my friends down first and letting them quite literally take a bullet for me as I'm on my way looting a chest and their dumbasses back at spawn running to me. Number 18, Lepus. I know it's not or never really was in the PC version of this game, but holy shit, this thing alone is and always will give me nightmares and keep me up at night. To say I'm scared of a deformed looking bunny is saying something, considering that I am a man who has played and completed every game in the Five Nights at Freddy's franchise. We don't talk about Security Breach. I loved watching it, but I hated playing it. Number 19, Cursed Flames. It's literally just green fire, nothing special. This is literally plagiarism at its peak right here. It's like Fire gave whatever the hell this originally was its homework and told it not to copy it word for word, yet we got this instead. Nothing much to say about it, but it made a cool book that I'll never read. Number 20, the Queen Slime. As mentioned in the very first few seconds of the video, this is the King Slime's woman. Honestly, I see her cheating on him in around a couple months depending on the circumstances. She's most likely just using him for clout, as we all know the King Slime has been a fan favorite for years, and it's safe to say when the King Slime falls out of popularity, this hoochie probably has someone lined up already setting up plans to be sipping on mimosas on the side of the ocean where the angler is not present. Number 21, the flame wings aren't the best wings in the game. Honestly, I take this as a personal attack, letting me know that although I used to be the best back in 1.2, with only wings such as the frozen or ghost wings rivaling me, the game currently shows that I'm washed up, as I'm not even in the top 10 wings statistic wise. At this point, I'll just be taking more L's than the Sentinels Valorant roster, which by the way, as of recording this, TENS is back on the main roster, so they now have a chance of making playoffs. TENS supremacy. Number 22, Medusa. Smash. Nothing to complain here. Honestly, absolutely fuck all. Nothing to complain. Alright, I'm gonna just blast through these last 3 because that way I can put 25 in the title and pray to God that YouTube allows this video back in the algorithm. Number 23, Master Mode. If you ever want to endure in more pain than the time you've embarrassed not only yourself but in front of your crush in front of the whole classroom in a sad attempt to impress her, then just take a look at Master Mode. This will give you psychological harassment, and not only that, it'll make you want to question your own existence as to why you chose to play this game in the first place. Personally, unless you have a strong mental, I would not recommend this mode at all. Number 24, Death Weeds. I can almost never find these plants whenever I need them, and I'm better off finding a rotted Discord before obtaining a good amount of these. And finally, the moment you've all been waiting for, the final reason as to why I hate Terraria. Number 25, Duke Fishron. Finally, we have what looks to be a perfect resemblance of you guys watching the video right now. Down to every pixel, this boss represents you guys perfectly. Half fish, half pig. As someone with 20/20 vision and a master's degree from the University of Wikipedia, I'm unable to find an external and internal difference between this abomination and you guys. So in a way, you guys made it in the game. Hats off to you, my no-left Terrarian. Hats off to you. That about wraps up my list as to why I hate Terraria. I will safely disappear for another 5 months living off that sweet YouTube revenue, and everything from this video was totally true and totally accurate. I was 100% serious about everything I said. Please leave hate comments, please slander my name across the Terraria community, and subscribe because I could use that and I could really use the money from this website. Thank you. I am going to college. Please. I'll see you when I feel like it. Later.